Okay, so we're just going to try now and build a very quick track. I say it's nothing going to be anything spectacular, but I just want to kind of show you how the Nord Lead 4 sounds when you start to kind of stack them up. And bearing in mind, once again, we'd literally just got the Nord Lead going through a preamp and straight into Ableton. There's not going to be a great deal of processing. We'll just have a quick little mix at the end, but we're pretty much going to throw it in. I've got a nice little kind of almost acidic-y tough little riff going in there that we'll play around with first, and then I'll show you kind of some of the more expansive sounds of the synth. So this is what we've got so far. We're just going to work with. So let's just we'll feed that across here, and we'll do some real-time tweaks as it goes down, so you can kind of hear what's going on. So we'll jump over here to the TB filter. Okay, so I've just got a, it's a MIDI of the same thing, but I've turned the Unison Engine on here. So in typical Swedish simplicity, you've only got 3 controls. It's a bit of a kind of, some people may see it a step back from the Lead 3, which had an enormous Unison Engine, but this is just dead simple. It just allows you 3 levels of unison. And we're going to use the widest one just to beef this main sound up. And I'll also grab the talk box effect here as we're going on to the second pass. And once again, the great thing about hardware, you just grab stuff and play with it as it's going in. And sometimes it kind of makes you make slightly better decisions, and also brings a bit of life into programming. Now you can hear there is a touch of delay on the original bass sound, just kind of MIDI latency, all that kind of thing. So let's just glue them all together a minute. Probably should have taken the warp off first. And I'll just tighten this up. And I tend to find with things like this, do it by ear, not actually by visual. You'll make a much better decision about how it sits if you edit stuff back into time. Not worrying about where things should be. So let's just kind of, if I go to one of the more expansive sounds on here. And it might seem a bit incongruous in a house beat like this, but just to kind of show you roughly what this thing is capable of across a variety of styles. One thing you do have to watch, and it's quite good this has actually come up, the pitch wheels on all Nords do sometimes throw out quite a lot of data, so do keep your eye on them, as do the modulation wheels, especially if you play quite hard like I do. So just keep an eye, you may need to get rid of some errant data there. I'm just going to get rid of a couple of the bad notes in it. And quickly quantize that. So we just need to add some filtery stuff, I suppose, to that as it's coming up. So what we'll do is... and we'll just take some of these. That's feeding more into the reverb. So now we're just going to set up a quick modulation so that the mod wheel is actually bringing the filters down. And you saw how easy that was to do as well. This is in a performance mode, so it's 2 patches playing at once. I suppose that's quite severe. Double the length of that a minute. Going to quickly... I've got one errant bit of MIDI, I think, at the beginning here, so we'll grab all of that, get rid of it. Let's insert some time. Copy that pattern across. Copy that across, and we'll do that again. Dead. And one thing to bear in mind whilst we're zipping through this, there is no plug-in chain on this. This is literally just the Nord lead going straight into Ableton. So let's just see if we can get some kind of counter riff for that. We want to be. Look out for some aftertouch as well. There's quite a lot sometimes that comes out of it. No, that's not too bad. Zip that across, let's see what the controller's doing. So that's steaming into some reverb, so we will... just simple sounds to bung in completely dry. Stick that on the down, stick that on that. Reverse it. Let's try a nice pad and we'll go for R. Let's see if we can find something odd just for this section. So just chucking it all in now. Let's quickly get some sub to add to all of this. straight into audio there. Let's sequence this up. Yep, okay, so I've just got an extra little bassline thing we're going to shove in here. As I say, we're not making a track, I just really want to show you the capabilities of this. You've seen how it can do some of the bigger kind of almost EDM type lead stuff here, but also you can get some really cool deeper basses out of it. Oh, and tougher ones. And we'll just grab it. Let's do a couple of little extra. And there's that sync as well. It's brilliant. It's one of the best hardware synthesizers that's syncing to MIDI clock without a shadow of doubt. So let's grab a bit of that nonsense. I'll just repeat that bass line. And as you can hear, then it really just, even though I'm not playing particularly well due to the amount of caffeine we've imbibed today, the clock just kind of says, no, this is where it should be, so this is where it's going to be, which is a kind of first for this. It's very well thought out. Let's pick up from Untitled Instrument, and I'll just fire that into some reverb, I think. So, as I say, here we go, we'll just add more reverb with the wheel, so we get a bit of successful there, so let's just use this quickly. Wrong one, sorry, 2 seconds, we'll get that in. Tighten this one up, you can hear the MIDI just had a bit of a hard time there picking this one perfectly. So once again, we've got a whole series of sounds in here that don't take a great deal of processing to really get them to work. So we're just going to get a little bit of compression on the bass. And then we'll do a quick sidechain after that. let's just check this bit out. We don't really have to do a great deal, to be honest. And hear that, even though the sound was kind of modulated as it was going in, it was a bit of a pain in the arse to get going. We are working quickly here. The size of it already just basically sounds like you could have shoved about 30 plugins onto some of the VSTs to try and get it that big, and this just comes out the box like So look, you can hear from just a few sounds. You can get really quite powerful sounding results, which for me is why this is another one of the next generation of synthesizers, because they kind of bridge the gap between all the plugins that we're using and the real world, and they sound enormous when you start to put them into records, which reminds me of how the likes of Moogs and the Jupiters used to be when you first heard them. They really just cut through. So yeah, can't really praise it enough, to be honest.